Hey friends, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host Mark Guido, and we first visited the Tucson Mountains of Arizona back in March of 2020, right as the COVID-19 pandemic was starting to break out all across the country. We came here to spend some time with our friend and fellow YouTuber TR Bolin, who was snowbirding in a local RV park. But TR, at the time, took the opportunity to show us Pima County's Tucson Mountain Park and its Gilbert Ray Campground. And we vowed that we would return someday to enjoy that campground, and that's exactly what we're doing this week. We're going to bring you along and explore some of the things that we were unable to see as things were shutting down for COVID. So stay tuned. Gilbert Ray Campground sits within Pima County's sprawling 20,000-acre Tucson Mountain Park, established in 1929, and one of the largest natural resource areas owned and managed by a local government in the U.S. The adjoining Saguaro National Park didn't come along until 4 years later. Both lie at the eastern edge of the Altar Valley on the lower slopes of the Tucson Mountains that separate us from the city of Tucson, about 13 miles away. The campground has 130 RV sites with individual 30-amp electrical hookups and 5 tent-specific sites, nestled amongst the natural landscape of Saguaro, Cholla, and Palo Verde. Water hydrants are scattered throughout. Reservations are available online. There's a strict 7-day stay limit and wood fires are prohibited. There are restrooms with flush toilets, but no showers. We're paying $20 per night during our visit. Everything in the desert is designed to hurt you, including this chain fruit cholla that you don't want to accidentally come into contact with while exiting your truck in the dark. Don't ask me how I know. Only the campground's A-Loop has 50-amp electrical service available for a premium fee. However, that loop is closed through the end of March 2024 for electrical upgrades. There are 2 dump stations available. The coyotes howling here at night have been both magical and plentiful. This one we've spotted right through our camper's rear window. Although Zoe has certainly noted their presence, the animals themselves have been elusive. Our visit at the end of October has been timed perfectly, with the triple-digit temps of just a few weeks earlier replaced by highs in the low 80s and overnight lows in the 50s. Tucson Mountain Park adjoins the Tucson Mountain District of Saguaro National Park, just a handful of miles away from our campground. In fact, there's no vehicle camping permitted here, and the nearest campground is Gilbert Ray, where we're staying. A second unit of the national park, the Rincon Mountain District, sits about 10 miles east of Tucson. The park's Red Hills Visitor Center features only very limited displays. There are really only 3 things to do here: hike into the backcountry, picnic, or drive the 6-mile unpaved Bajada Loop, which winds through the park's lower elevations. As it adjoins the national park, Tucson Mountain Park features the same Sonoran Desert scenery as Saguaro National Park, but with far more to do. In addition to sightseeing, hiking, and picnicking, there's an archery range, a rifle and pistol range, a natural education center with occasional programs, and even a highly acclaimed natural museum that we'll visit later in this episode. In our opinion, the scenery is also more rugged than that found in the national park. Just down the road from our campground and within the park, Old Tucson is a movie studio turned theme park owned by Pima County. Filming here has included numerous John Wayne movies and the television series Little House on the Prairie. A visit here should no doubt include a late afternoon drive to the top of Gates Pass to watch the sun set across the Altar Valley. Following a quick ad break, we'll go hiking in Tucson Mountain Park, learn at the park's phenomenal Arizona Desert Museum, explore Tucson, and remember the Cold War at a Titan II missile silo. So stay tuned. It's a beautiful cloudless morning out here in the desert. Slept great last night. There were all kinds of coyotes yipping and howling all around our campsite around midnight last night, but still slept great. Gonna take advantage of this weather and do some hiking right from the campground up the Brown Mountain Trail in Tucson Mountain Park. Tucson Mountain Park has approximately 62 miles of non-motorized shared-use trails, and the Brown Mountain Loop Trail is exceptionally well marked. The prevailing wisdom is to do the loop in a clockwise direction. That way, you get this initial climb behind me out of the way right in the very beginning, leaving the rest of the hike with a few ups and downs and a lot of flat terrain, but no big uphills. Now that the big climb is over, the trail continues along the undulating ridgetop of Brown Mountain. Well, made it to the high point. The hard part should be over. I think there's one more slight uphill still to come. After that, it'll all be downhill or flat. Okay, finally down off the ridge. So it should be about 3.5 miles or so of gently undulating desert terrain along the east side of the mountain to get back to our camper. Although the Brown Mountain Loop is stated to be 5 miles long, it's more like 6, with the unnecessary meanders to accommodate mountain bikers in the lower elevations. And if you hike from the campground as I did, it's even longer. Numerous ups and downs make this more strenuous than one would think, but it was a beautiful way to commune with the Sonoran Desert on a beautiful day. The Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, which we spotted from our hike, is a 98-acre combination zoo, aquarium, botanical garden, and natural history museum. Founded in 1952, right within Tucson Mountain Park, and only a few miles down the road from Gilbert Ray Campground. It focuses on the interpretation of the natural history, plants, and animals of the Sonoran Desert. The museum is home to more than 230 animal species and 1,200 varieties of plants. It is open every day throughout the year and hosts nearly 400,000 visitors annually, making it one of the most visited attractions in southern Arizona. The museum is supported only by admission fees, memberships, and donations, and receives no direct support from public taxes. At first, I balked at the museum's $30 admission fee. However, after spending a few hours perusing its collections, I can confidently say that it's worth every single penny. Right at the entrance, the Warden Aquarium highlights the roles of the Colorado and other rivers in the region, as well as the Gulf of California. Next up, the exhibit of the desert's lower vertebrates and invertebrates includes a wide variety of native reptiles, amphibians, and insects. A 75-foot-long artificial cave with arches, side chambers, and a tunnel for visitors comprises the next exhibit, encompassing cave residents, fossils, geologic gems and minerals, and the history of the Earth. The Mountain Woodland exhibit recreates the habitats found in the Sonoran Desert's Sky Island mountain ranges. Native species include a cougar, white-tailed deer, turkeys, and a black bear. There's also an exhibit housing Mexican wolves, but try as we might, we couldn't spot them. The Desert Grassland exhibit area recreates a desert grassland habitat featuring soap tree yuccas, desert scrub, grasses, and succulents. Visitors can observe prairie dogs and learn the region's history through a replica of a mammoth kill site. The museum's Desert Loop Trail is an unpaved desert trail 1/2 mile long, passing through areas where javelinas, coyotes, and lizards are on display. The fiber fencing enclosing these animals is designed to be almost invisible to the eye, aiming to make the enclosure feel like naturally open space. The coyotes on display at the Desert Museum are as elusive as the ones in our campground. At last, one of these beautiful animals has chosen to show himself. These collared peccaries, or javelinas, have found a cool spot to relax in the desert heat. Although these animals closely resemble pigs, there are distinct differences that separate the two. Life on the Rocks is a multi-species exhibit focusing on the habitat and species most often encountered amid the region's rocky slopes. At Cat Canyon, visitors can view small cats of the Sonoran Desert, like bobcats and a mountain lion, in naturalistic grotto setting. This exhibit area also includes a gray fox and porcupine. Currently on exhibit in the riparian corridor area are bighorn sheep, beavers, native fish, and other creatures. There is a walk-in aviary with northern cardinals, Gambel's quail, ducks, doves, and many other species of native birds. Several benches are located throughout the aviary, and a small stream runs through the middle of the enclosure. The hummingbird aviary houses 4 species that nest annually in the Sonoran Desert. The Desert Museum is a don't-miss attraction while visiting the Tucson area. And when we come back, following another quick ad break to pay the bills, we'll explore the city of Tucson and even climb down into a Cold War-era Titan II missile silo. So stay tuned. With a population of over 500,000, Tucson is the second largest city in Arizona behind Phoenix. When all of the city suburbs are included, the population of the entire Tucson Metropolitan Statistical Area comes to over 1 million. It was founded as a military fort by the Spanish when Hugo O'Connor authorized the construction of Presidio San Agustin del Tucson in 1775. It was included in the state of Sonora after Mexico gained independence from the Spanish Empire in 1821. The United States acquired a nearly 30,000 square mile region of present-day southern Arizona and southwestern New Mexico, including the Tucson area, from Mexico under the Gadsden Purchase in 1853. Tucson was incorporated in 1877 as Arizona's oldest city, and served as the capital of the Arizona Territory from 1867 to 1877. It was Arizona's largest city by population during the territorial period, in early statehood, until it was surpassed by Phoenix in 1920. The city was laid out on a grid plan that exists to this day. A compact downtown core includes historic neighborhoods like El Presidio, immediately adjacent to modern high-rise towers. The Congress Street Arts and Entertainment District is bustling with activity every evening in close proximity to the University of Arizona. Right on Congress Street, the Art Deco Fox Theater was designed in 1929. Tucson's St. Augustine Cathedral was completed in 1896. Of course, the Mexican cuisine available throughout Tucson is not to be missed. Natural areas to explore can be found right in Tucson, too. On the city's northern edge at the foot of the Santa Catalina Mountains, Coronado National Forest maintains the Sabino Canyon Recreation Area as a place to walk, hike, or ride. An electric shuttle bus system transports visitors up canyon to hiking trailheads and large waterfalls along Sabino Creek. The dry desert air prevalent in Tucson makes a perfect final resting place for retired aircraft waiting to be parted out here at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. With nearly 4,000 out-of-service aircraft from all branches of the U.S. government, it's the largest aircraft storage and preservation facility in the world. That boneyard has been a source of exhibits for the adjacent Pima Air and Space Museum, a sprawling facility where nearly 400 aircraft are on display across 80 acres for visitors to enjoy, either outside or in one of the facility's 6 hangars. Visiting the museum looks to be an all-day affair, and with our time here limited, we're going to instead opt to visit their sister facility, the Titan Missile Museum. Located about 25 miles south of Tucson in Green Valley is this former ICBM silo that was constructed in 1963 during the Cold War and deactivated in 1984. It is now a museum run by the nonprofit Arizona Aerospace Foundation and includes an inert Titan II missile in the silo, as well as the original launch facilities. As the only Titan II complex to survive from the late Cold War period, it was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1994. The underground facilities consist of a 3-level launch control center, the 8-level silo containing the missile and its related equipment, and the connecting structures of cableways, blast locks, and the access portal and equipment elevator. The Titan II was the largest operational land-based nuclear missile ever used by the United States. The missile had one W-53 warhead with a yield of 9 megatons. The complex was built of steel reinforced concrete with walls as thick as 8 feet in some areas. Thank you. 6 3-ton blast doors sealed the various areas from the surface and each other. Visitors on the 45-minute tour reenact the launch sequence, including decoding the nuclear codes necessary to initiate a launch. Tour tickets cost $16.50.
With the guidance computer, target 2 is locked, engine check disfired. 4 seconds later, that missile is on its way. 58 seconds after you guys turn those keys, it's on. Once those keys are
The 103-foot Titan II missile inside the silo has neither warhead nor fuel, allowing it to be safely displayed to visitors. If you'd like to see more of the area from our previous visit, including traveling to the top of Mount Lemmon, the Spanish Mission San Xavier, further explanation of the area's flora, and more, we encourage you to view our episode 145 from March 2020, which we'll link to right here on the screen. We hope that you've enjoyed returning to the Tucson Mountains with us. If you like this episode, it is extremely important to us that you give us a big thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you'll find the comment section where we'd love to hear from you after each and every grand adventure, which we premiere each and every Wednesday evening. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. But if you're not yet a grand adventurer yourself, now is the perfect time for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen and ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure. So until next Wednesday, please remember life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.